So far, the 2023 Northern Virginia housing market has been the weirdest and most challenging markets I've ever seen. The number of home sales are way down, interest rates are hovering right around 7%, home affordability is at an all-time high right now, yet most homes hitting the market right now are selling the first weekend with multiple offers and for above asking price. And it makes you think, is there any relief on the horizon coming for home buyers? So in this week's video, we're gonna dive into exactly what I've been seeing being boots on the ground, and then I'll share with you what I believe is the future of the Northern Virginia housing market. So sit back, relax, because we're getting started right now. Boom! Hey everybody, it's David, your favorite realtor, and welcome back to another video. So we are officially halfway through 2023. Wow, time is flying by way too quickly for me. But we're gonna start this video with the mid-year recap of the housing market right here in Northern Virginia. And if we're gonna do a mid-year recap, for context, we have to start off with what happened in the fourth quarter of last year. So in the fourth quarter of 2022, homes were sitting on the market. The demand for housing had come to a screeching halt. And all of this was a result of interest rates basically doubling from early in the year from about 3.5% to as high as 7%. So if you went down the rabbit hole late last year watching housing market predictions videos, everybody was calling for a 2023 market crash. Even myself, I wasn't calling for a crash, but I was calling for a small correction of home values dropping anywhere from 1% to 4%. However, that did not happen. I remember so vividly, right after the holidays, first week of January, I noticed a new trend. New homes hitting the market were selling the first weekend, getting multiple offers. I was going to open houses with my clients, and these open houses were packed to the gill. And also homes that you could not give away in November and December of last year, all of a sudden, they started selling first few weeks of January. So this sudden surge of buyer demand was so unexpected. So it looks like the buyers had adjusted to the new norm of having interest rates in that 6 to 7% range. But the biggest story of the 2023 Northern Virginia housing market is low inventory. I know I've said in past videos about low inventory, but this year is the lowest levels I've ever seen. I even have the numbers to back it up. So we're gonna look at the time frame of January through May. New listings to hit the market this year is 12% lower compared to the same time frame last year. Now, if we go to 2019, which is the last full year pre-pandemic, it was quote unquote the last normal real estate market. Well, new listings to hit the market this year are 44% less compared to 2019. And that is why, even with 7% interest rates, most homes are still selling the first weekend with multiple offers and for above asking price. Literally, the criteria is just be a house. 4 walls and a roof, house is gonna sell first weekend. Now, without question, the direct cause of the low inventory is the higher interest rates. So right now, like I mentioned, buyers have adjusted to the 6.5%, 7% interest rates. However, sellers have not. Now think about this. Let's say you live in a house, you have a beautiful 3% interest rate. You know how hard it is to sell that interest rate and buy your next house at 7%? In fact, I'm gonna use myself as an example. I'm gonna jump onto my fancy mortgage calculator and really show you how much of a difference these higher interest rates make. So according to the Mortgage News Daily, the average 30-year fixed rate right now in the US is a little bit over 7%. So we're gonna use 7% for this example. Okay, so I bought my house last year, $665,000. I had put 5% down, and my rate was 3.25%. And we're only using principal and interest for this example. So my monthly payment is $2,749 per month. Now let's say hypothetically, I bought the exact same house with today's interest rate of 7%. Now my principal and interest would be $4,203 a month. That is over $1,400 more per month I would be paying if I bought the exact same house. Now let's do a second example. So obviously, I wouldn't sell my house to buy the exact same house. If I was to become a potential seller and buyer, I would upgrade to a bigger home. I have a growing family, so a big single family house right here in Ashburn would be perfect. So let's see how much that would cost me more. So the average sales price of a single family home in Ashburn is right a little bit over $1 million, but for purposes of this video, we'll make it $1 million on the spot. I would put 10% down if I was to buy a home. And we're gonna go with today's interest rate of 7%. So basically, if I was to sell my house and buy a single family home, my new monthly principal and interest payment will be $5,987 a month. That would be more than $3,200 more per month than I'm currently paying. So there's no way I'm gonna pay an extra $3,200 a month just to have a slightly bigger house. Guess what? I'm gonna sit my butt right in this house and enjoy my 3.25% interest rate. And if I'm thinking that, that's what the majority of potential sellers are thinking. So really, the only people who are actually selling their house right now is people who have to sell. They have to sell here because they're relocating to another part of the country, or maybe their house is just way too small. Let's say you have a family of 4 and you're in a little 2-bedroom condo, you actually need a bigger house. But if you just want to sell your house because you want a slightly bigger house or a little bit more land, it is not worth it. So what has low inventory done to home values here in Northern Virginia this year? Well, the good news is homes are not selling for like $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 above asking price like they were back in 2021. In Northern Virginia, on average, homes are selling for $10,000 above asking price. And home values this year in 2023 compared to last year are up about 2%. With the current average sales price of $779,000. And I swear, every time I do research for a new video, that number keeps going up and up and up. So we just finished the spring market here in Northern Virginia. So right now we're in the summer market. We'll be going into the fall market soon and then into the holidays. So what am I currently seeing in today's housing market? So I'm seeing the same thing I've been seeing all year. Low inventory, basically no homes to see. I'm probably working with like 7 or 8 buyer clients right now, and we're barely going out to see homes because there's literally nothing to see. In fact, do you want to know what's going on in today's market in real time? Look at this graphic I found on my social media literally a couple days ago. There's a local title company located in Fairfax, and they shared their last 10 contract stats, and 7 of the last 10 contracts they received were above asking price. And then 9 of those 10 contracts, the buyers completely waived the home inspection, and then 6 of the 10 buyers waived their appraisal contingencies. So even right now in the summer, buyers are doing whatever it takes to win a house. So what do I believe is the future of the Northern Virginia housing market? Now, nobody knows what's gonna happen in the future. I can't predict the future, you can as well. But how I come out with my outlook of the future is I do hours of research looking at data on the MLS. I talk to other high-level realtors here in the area, kind of see what they're seeing as well, and then I go based on my own personal experience working with clients being boots on the ground. So what everybody wants is a more balanced market, because the past 3 years, sellers have had such a huge advantage over buyers when it comes to negotiations. That's why the goal should be a more balanced market. Unfortunately, I do not see that coming anytime soon. My outlook for the rest of 2023 is pretty much what we've been seeing the majority of the year. Extremely low inventory, most homes getting multiple offers, buyers waiving contingencies, homes selling for a little bit above asking price. Now the good news is, if you are a potential home buyer in this market, is we are now going into normal seasonal slowdown. Late summer, families are on their vacations, getting ready to go back to school. Then we have the holidays. It is very normal for demand to slow down this time of year. It happens every single year. Now, with that being said, homes are still gonna be competitive. But let's say a house you're looking at in October, maybe only ends up getting 2 offers. Compared to that home I hit the market, let's say 30 days ago, when that home would have gotten 5, 6, or even 7 offers. So it will be a lot easier to secure a home compared to what it has been the majority of this year. However, I will tell you this, right on cue, right after the holidays, the demand will pick up. It happens every single year. And now my outlook for home values for the rest of the year, I think it's gonna stay pretty flat. I don't see any huge spike in prices, and I definitely don't see any decline in prices. They'll probably stay flat across the board, and we'll probably end 2023 with a 2% appreciation in home values compared to last year. So what could bring an influx of inventory to the Northern Virginia housing market? Interest rates. I believe right now, most potential sellers, they have a mental barrier of that 6% rate. Because if you have a 3%, it's just so hard to buy your next home at double the rate. However, if rates were to drop into the 5s, let's say 5.75 or 5.5, I think that would cause a lot of potential sellers to get off the sidelines and hit the market, because now they know their next home won't be as expensive as it is right now. So that could bring an influx of inventory to the market. But the flip side to that is, now demand is going to go through the roof as well, because now we have all these potential sellers turn into potential buyers, and then we have a lot of buyers who've been sitting on the sidelines maybe for the past year or so waiting for interest rates to go down. So now you have 2 groups of buyers come to the marketplace, and if this scenario was to happen, we would still be in an unbalanced market where sellers will have all the leverage. So unfortunately, this is why I do not see a balanced market coming anytime soon. Really, for us to get to a balanced market, some kind of event has to happen to really increase the supply of homes for sale, at the same time reducing demand. So, should you buy a house now or should you wait till next year, kind of see how the housing market materializes? Well, I always tell this to my clients. If you're thinking about buying a house, you have to check all three of these boxes. Not two of the three or one of the three. Check all three of the boxes. First box is, are you in a strong financial position? Can you easily afford that monthly payment? Can you easily afford the down payment and the closing cost? Because if you can't, then you should not be buying a house. The second box you want to check is, you have a strong need or motivation for a new house. Let's say you're relocating here from another part of the country. Well, guess what? You need a house. Well, let's say you're a family of 4 living in a 2-bedroom condo. Well, guess what? You need a much bigger home. So you have a big motivation to buy a new house. And the third box you want to check is, you plan to hold the home long term, minimum of 5 years, ideally 7 to 10 years. Because if you're looking to buy a home and only living there for like 1 or 2 years, then I would say just rent. There's no need to buy a house if you're going to hold it short term. So yes, I think it's still going to be a challenging market for buyers moving forward. Home affordability is going to remain at an all-time high. We're still going to have interest rates above 6%, and most homes that hit the market are going to be extremely competitive. But with that being said, if I see any changes or developments with the housing market here in Northern Virginia, you know I'm going to make a brand new YouTube video telling you all about it. And if you want to learn more about living right here in Northern Virginia, check out these videos right here. They're going to be great resources for you. And I'll see you on the next video.